Good evening, everyone. I have returned for a storytelling stream tonight. Um, it's fine. Like it's not really something that it's a bit late into the night, so I don't think people will be watching. I wasn't sure whether to stream tonight or not, just because it's like streaming late into the night. People don't really watch the streams, which is a blessing and a curse. Oh no, not really. Eh, you can't really expect much, from me or from like viewers and stuff. It is like an inconvenient time, I guess, for most people. But uh concrete, like it doesn't matter, I guess. I should just keep on trucking and try to do it. But yeah, I think I haven't read like not like I haven't read, but like I haven't I've played in like off on my off time, but or whenever I'm not streaming, but I haven't really been narrating, like fully narrating stuff for a while now. Thus, I wanted to start off with smaller streams, or not smaller. What am I saying? Like smaller games tonight, and then uh, try to read the longer ones. Because I've found like a lot of maybe maybe 20k words, 20k word games. So like it's it's going to be hard, but yeah, we can do it. I don't mind. I don't mind doing it, but I want to get back into it by reading shorter ones first before I kind of tire myself out because I've definitely done it. Anyway, we'll be reading two stories tonight. The stories we'll be reading, or the games that we'll be playing, was a bit of I left over before I got busy at the end of October. The Statement of Randolph Carter, which is honestly a really good game. Yeah, it was a shame that it was left over because I got busy, but I really wanted to read this story at least, even though October is over and the actually I haven't actually congratulated. I guess it just kind of slipped my mind, but yeah, congratulations to the winners of the Spooktober Game Jam. Carrot Patch Games won overall for our Fantastic Wonderland. So, yep, congratulations. Mm-hmm. Who else won? I think Vivica's Heart won as well, which I don't. Did I read Vivica's Heart? Oh goodness. Wait, I think I might have read it, but I didn't stream it. Yes, because there's a lot of games where it's just harder to stream because some of the games are a bit too lengthy for a stream and for me to keep on reading for a while because like I said uh continual reading and kind of messes with my head a little bit, or not messes with my head, I guess makes me a bit dizzy, I guess. So yeah, I try not to do it very much. But anyway, it's not really anything that much interesting, or what am I saying? It's really, yeah. So there's a lot of games that I do kind of play off stream and then just not stream, because you have to because there are a lot of games that's like, hmm, a bit harder for me to do, especially because of the how, in terms of the style that I'm doing them. The style of how I'm doing them is, it's kind of hard for me to just play other games. But I guess it's fine. I don't even know if what I'm doing is entertaining, but people seem to, some people seem to watch it, so yeah. I've got, some feedback, which is good. But, sometimes, uh, I don't want to say it. Never mind. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's just get into it, I guess. Like right. Oh, right. I was talking about the games I was going to play. And the second game I think is I think newer, which is the Cult of Baphomet. I I played it earlier, of course. I try to vet games before I read them on stream so that I don't get like a game over or something. But yeah, it's I think that, yeah, this one's really good. This one's I mean, the both of them are very solid works. Like most of the games that I play are very solid works that I think are a bit underappreciated. I guess not really underappreciated, but I guess, hmm, I actually don't know how to explain it other than I think it's just I think some of these games deserve more attention, basically. They're appreciated by a lot of people, but I feel like there should be more appreciation for them. Like I said, I've said this before in an earlier stream, but people, there's so much talent on the internet. It's wild. And I guess it's because it's like kind of overshadowed by like, stupid, like like brainless TikToks or stuff like that, but it's the amount of artists who make really good art is insane. Like I can't believe there's this much people making this, like, this fucking artworks. Like the visual novel community is insanely talented. It's so wild that it doesn't get more attention. It's wild. Like I don't know how to explain it any more than that. Like when it comes to things like art, writing, like even programming, and to a certain extent, it's like, yeah, yeah, yo, like, what the fuck, like, this isn't this is not normal. Like, what is this is not normal. Like, normal people can't do this. Like, you actually need talent to be able to do this shit. Like, it's not as, you know it's a lot of it is like, is so good. Anyway, I want to experiment doing uh like blind playthroughs. Like I'm kind of wrestling about with the idea of doing blind playthroughs, just because, hmm, Oh, like it's easier for me like especially for like longer works, right? Because for shorter works, it's like okay, I skim some of the I skim the story. Like I read it, I pre-read the story so that I know what's coming and which decisions to make, so that I can get like okay, this is the best. Like I think this is the best way to portray this game. But some of the games are some of the games are just long, so the preparation time also takes a long time. And it it kind of doubles. Like it doubles the work when I'm trying to do that. Because when something has, let's say, 20,000 words, like you need to be paying attention to those 20,000 words before it's going to, like you're going to get lost with all of the details. Like if you don't pay attention. Not like, hmm, it's not to discredit like works that have like less than 10k words, right? But that's like, let's say you made like an 8,000 word game versus like a 20,000 word game. That's like 12,000 words of additional information to pay attention to. So, or worth of details. So, like that's more than twice the details that you need to be looking at and thinking about when you're like reading and playing through the game. But that's neither here nor there. So like I said, it's the well, I don't, that's why I'm trying to think about the idea of blind playthroughs. Now, the negative part about blind playthroughs that I do find, that the reason why I don't do them is because of how I play these games and how the video of how I do these videos. So the thing about how I do these videos is that my videos that I post are more like I just read them. Like I don't do any commentary on them or anything like that because hmm, most of it is because I don't think that I'm clueless about most of this stuff. Like I'm clearly just a player. I'm clearly just someone who appreciates the work rather than actually knows what he's talking about. That's why sometimes I do kind of shy away from commentary stuff. Hmm. But like I said, like like my commentary would always be like, "Damn, this art is insane. The story is fucking good." That'll be all my commentary. Like it'll be the same commentary every time. Oh, it'll be the same commentary every time. Like if I'm playing a game. And sometimes like I tried to make like a commentary stream, but at some point it just became like, oh, I'm just reading the story outright, so what's the point of the commentary, I guess? Like I'm not adding any additional like pertinent information or any entertaining factors when it comes to these types of games. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to do any of the commentary stuff. So doing a blind playthrough and then getting a game over feels like it just feels like a bad thing to show a viewer, or from a viewer, like, oh well, why did I watch this video? Although a it is like a balancing act, right? It's a balancing act because you never want to. The main point of the video or the videos are, oh, look at this game, like take a look at this game and I hope you read this game. Like definitely to promote the game rather than to, oh, watch this video instead of the game. Like that's never my intention whenever I do these streams. So maybe doing it is, maybe doing blind playthroughs is the way if if I'm like going for that. It's so dane. Hmm. Okay, I feel like saying it out loud kind of helps me. Uh, what else? What else have I got to talk about? I'm running out of things to play, honestly. Like I want to play a new game, but I can't really find anything. Like I keep trying to play like different games here and there, but I don't know. It's just sometimes I just can't. You know, like a casual game, just when you want to relax, just to play, and then keep your mind kind of occupied while doing other stuff. I guess that doesn't really work. It doesn't really work, but yeah. I don't know if I should talk about this, but I guess I could. No one's watching anyway. But yesterday, I just did. Hmm, I was just so blue yesterday. Like I just felt so down yesterday. I don't know. Oh, it sucked. It sucked so much. Like that's why I didn't stream yesterday, honestly, because I just felt so fucking down yesterday. Like I just have one of those days where it's just, yeah, fuck, like what the fuck am I doing? Like why am I trying to fucking make a game? Like you don't have any talents, like you can't do art, you can barely understand fucking programming and stuff, and then why are you doing this and stuff like that? It is it's it's actually it's actually bumming me out right now. Okay, okay. Oh god, look at that. I'm like thinking, oh, even like these types of streams, even like the fucking storyteller streams, there's like so many other people better than you at reading stories, who have better voices, who have that people would rather watch than you. So it's like, oh god. Oh no, Gene. Okay, okay. I yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, I think I've calmed down. I think I've kind of calmed down. I don't know. Sometimes it just hits you, right? Yeah, at least it does for me. Sometimes it just, like, honestly, okay. As I can talk about this, like most of I would say that I'm a loner. Not that I'm antisocial or anything like that. I am very socially awkward though, so it is kind of hard for me to meet new people, or no, it's not. Yeah, especially in real life. Like the internet is kind of the internet is fine. Like, even then, I sometimes I feel like, oh god, like this is embarrassing what I'm doing right here. But uh, yeah, but like I said, like I feel like I like being alone. I like being alone. That's why sometimes I don't mind streaming with no viewers at all, because I don't really mind it. Not like I'm happier, but I feel more. I don't really feel that self conscious about myself whenever I'm alone. So, but then again, I do want to, kind of put myself out there as I do want to kind of put myself out there as well, which is kind of a contradictory statement. It's a fucking there's a fucking weird thing happening in my brain, but yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that sometimes, even if you're a loner, there's just some days where I just feel so fucking lonely. It's such a sad state of affair, honestly. Like I just feel like, oh, there's no one I can talk to. Oh God, Gene. I have friends that I could, well, I for sure, I have like IRL friends, right? That I play games with sometimes. Not really that much anymore, but like, maybe I just need a therapist. Maybe I just need therapy. I don't know, man. Like, it seems like seems like that's the issue. It feels like just that's just the issue. Like, I just need fucking therapy. Anyway, I guess that's kind of solved. Probably not gonna get therapy, but this is my therapy. Just me talking into the mic while no one's listening. While it's also what I like about these streams is that no one's listening, so no one will probably hear it. But it is like in a public platform, so there's a chance someone will hear it. Like this type of like I've I've literally put like very private stuff out there, but it's just that no one watches like the VODs or like these. No one watches like the VODs of the stream or even like try to listen. So no one actually there's no way it actually shows up. It's such a fun thing to happen. Oh, I could create a poll on the chat. Oh shit. Okay. I got distracted again. Yeah, sorry. I think that's a new feature. I've never seen that before. I just seen it now, but yeah. Mm, yeah, yesterday I just felt so down. Like it's like okay, well, I just felt so lonely. I just felt so lonely. Like I can't really talk about it with anyone. I guess that's really what I'm missing right now. Like a lot of the issues that I get, a lot of the like the mental stuff that's like fucking that's that's causing me trouble is I can't really talk about it with anyone. Either they're just strangers or oh I oh that's actually so insane. Like these are problems that I don't want to talk about for like family or friends, but then it's also like I can't fucking it's so hard to sometimes open up to like strangers and stuff. Actually, it's easier to open up to strangers than talk to your IRL friends or family about these types of stuff. So, but yeah, some like it does happen. It does happen to me like not a lot, I guess. Some days it just does happen, and then the next day it's like you watch Smash Summit, you watch Mango win a tournament, so everything's good in the world. You pick yourself back up, and then try something to relax your mind and distract yourself. But sometimes I would love like just I guess I have one. I don't know. I kind of don't want to say it because it's like it's so hard. It's so hard to say because like a mm, uh, hmm. The reason why I think it's kind of hard to say is because I I don't want to say that the people who support the streams, like Viking Sun, as well as like one of the biggest watchers of the stream, right? Yeah, I don't want to discredit him or anything like that, but sometimes I just feel like I need to talk to somebody. or like need someone to like, oh, hey, let's play some games together, or play anything together. It's I don't know. I guess I just really haven't found that person yet. Well, I guess it's not really that. That's too much. Like, the thing about it is that I'm a random stranger on the internet. Like, I'm a random stranger on the internet who does YouTube videos. Like, I'm like I'm like extremely like mm, irrelevant to everyone. Like everyone. So it's kind of hard for me to. It's just you're just yeah. It's I don't want to put that pressure on anyone. Like that's why I don't want to say it. Like it's unfair for me to expect you to be like, oh, like be a support system for me, because it's just unfair. Like it's just unfair for me. It's just unfair for whoever whoever it is. Like like you don't even know me yet. You're you're doing this for me. So yeah, I guess, yeah. So I don't know. Okay, yep, scratch that. Just, forget the whole, the last 10 minutes of this. Just forget the last 10 minutes of the stream and forget I ever said that. Uh, I would love to collaborate with someone, though. The thing about collaborations is that I feel like no one, like, there's no reason to, uh, like, no one has a reason to collaborate with me. Like, it doesn't really make any sense, because I'm like super irrelevant, or like I I just have no following or anything, or no following or influence or anything like that. So it's like mm, yeah, it's just and also, like I said, it's just hard for me sometimes to just talk to new people. Honestly, I've been trying to be good about that recently, wherein I would just privately message some devs and artists and writers and stuff, and tell them, hey, look, I did this, and oh, I really loved what you did. But yeah, I've been doing that recently, which is I love it. Like it's been a weird experience for me, because most of the replies I get were mostly positive. It's like mostly positive. So I mean, I should do it more, I guess, but it's kind of it's I guess it's not really I'm not really against it, but it's more like it's a weird feeling for me to be actually doing it. So it's still a fine line to do it. I honestly think I shouldn't do it, because it just feels like yeah, it just feels like I'm trying to like it just feels like I'm trying hard to fucking get their attention or something like that, which I don't know. I just don't know. It's like it feels like I'm trying too hard to get their attention, or just be yeah, cause mm, so Denny, maybe not, maybe not. Maybe I am thinking about it too much. I think I am. I think I'm overthinking it, because I feel like a lot of people in the visual novel community is just extremely nice and talented and stuff. And also, like, I guess like one of the things that resonated with me, like one of the like developers or writer. I think yeah, I think she's a writer. I think she's a developer. I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm not gonna name drop or anything like that, but I she told me that like the thing that I'm doing is like just giving attention to something, like giving attention to a game, or like even like just doing a video, like about just doing a video for just doing a video about it. It's actually like a big help, or rather, it counts for something. I wouldn't say it's like my videos get like 10 views, if even that. Like some of my videos don't even get 10 views, but it is something, I guess, is what she was trying to tell me. Like it counts for something, which and that yeah, that kind of resonated with me. That even as someone who is clearly like a non-factor streamer, like a non-factor, a dime a dozen streamer, it's like I guess it 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 helps. I guess like I can kind of understand when someone gives my stream some attention, or like praises my work and stuff. So I could. That's why it kind of resonated with me, because yeah, it's just so surprising sometimes. I don't know how I got here. I was talking about collaborations and stuff. Right now, because I oh, do I want to? Okay, you know what? It's fine. I don't think it's yeah. I think it's fine. So there's someone who I just recently learned, maybe like a couple hours ago, that that person is making videos. Is also making videos that's like similar to what I'm doing, which is like a visual novel playthroughs. And I really want to collaborate with her, or I want to collaborate with that person. Yeah, but I don't know how to. Here's the thing: even if we do the same thing, like I wouldn't know, one, how to approach it, two, what the fuck do we like, what do I invite that person to do, like like how is it going to work, how is it going to work. I haven't really thought about that yet, but yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about like things like that, just and the reason why I think about that is because I feel like things are just more fun with when you're just you know talking to someone, or doing stuff together. It's just is it's more fun than just doing it by yourself, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah. All right, that person is Peach Poncho from Maybe Mythos. And she's a writer, or they or that person's a writer for Maybe Mythos, which I mean, you can go check the tapes. You can go check the tapes. I mean, like I said like Platonic was fucking good. Like it was good. It was good. Okay, so if I'm good, like here's the thing about Platonic, right? Like it sound although I do kind of I I did kind of retcon the story though, because the main story, like the protagonist was a witch, and when I read it, I redid it as wizard. So I don't know how people would feel about that. I feel like I thought it was just more fitting for me. I just felt better or it just felt more fitting for me to actually use wizard instead of witch. But yeah, anyway, like, that's anyway. It felt like kind of this like fantastical game wherein kind of like a surreal fantasy. But then they started going into the romance stuff, and then it hit hard. Like it hit hard. Like it really did. Like when I first read it, I'm like, oh my god, this shit hits. This shit is hitting me. So yeah, I think like that's why I personally loved it, just because of that aspect of it. I just love it's yeah, and the reason why I don't know, but she like or that person, I should just Peach Momo-san. Yeah, I think that person is getting ready for like the winter VN Jam, so like the winter game jam, which I'm also kind of excited for it. New stories, less kind of exciting, less exciting than spooky stuff, but still, still kind of it's still good. It's still good. Like it's still something to look forward to, like new stories and stuff. I mean, I've seen a lot of the developers that I've interacted with. I mean, they're all going forward. Like they're all like kind of pumped for the winter game jam. So I'm excited to read a lot like their works as well. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. If ever, I guess and come on, Gene. You can't put the onus on that other person. You can't put. Yeah. Anyway, if if you if you hear this, Peach Poncho, if somehow you've you listen to this, like you've heard this, I would just like to say that I would love to collaborate. Just putting it out there. You know what? I'll just put it out there. It's there's this is what I love about zero viewers. Like this is what I love about zero viewers, right? It's just that I could say I can just be as open as I want, not think about the consequences of how like embarrassing or cringe what I'm doing is. So it's like, let's go, straightforward. Masaguda. just, just say it. Just say it, Gene. Just say it. Anyway, but yeah, please, if ever you are also interested, because we do the same thing, kind of. I'll think of something. I'll think of something. So yeah. Anyway, uh, damn, it's already been 43 minutes. I guess I've just wasted 40 minutes just talking shit. Just blabbering. It's fucking. Sometimes I surprise myself, like, oh, I've been talking for 40 minutes straight now about literally nothing. It's so I don't know. It's just insane. It's insane. It's insane how I try to do it. Anyway, so I always say it's a warm up, but it's not a warm up. It's more of like a podcast. What I'm doing right now. It's a solo podcast. Just yeah, I'll just talk by myself. Anyway, I feel like I'm rehashing a lot of stuff, but yeah, the ramblings of a socially awkward slime. Let's start playing. Let's start playing these games. So, like I said, the first game we'll be playing is the statement of Randolph Carter. So just give me a few minutes to kind of get ready. Yeah, just give me, maybe 2 minutes. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. The statement of Randolph Carter. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest of fear is fear of the unknown. H.P. Lovecraft. It was a cold, muggy night in the month of October. My crewmates and I were soaked and tired. Our last case was easily the strangest we ever had conducted. Harley Warren, a man in his early 30s, had gone missing in the cypress swamp. His body was never found, and the only evidence we had was a witness, Randolph Carter. The man was a graduate student and Warren's apprentice. What was more unnerving was the boy's ravings. He swears that something unimaginable was what took Warren's life. However, in the court of law, all this granted him was a first-degree murder charge. He wasn't the first lunatic we've interrogated, far from it. Though, even the looniest of maniacs slip up eventually. But Randolph wasn't one of them. He had his story not sounded so Had his story not sounded so far-fetched, we might have believed the man. Something wasn't right here. Alright, let's play that last tape and call it a night.
It is true that I have for 5 years been his closest friend, and a partial sharer of his terrible research into the unknown. I will not deny, though my memory is uncertain and indistinct, that this witness of yours may have seen us together, as he says, on the Gainesville Pike, walking toward Big Cypress Swamp at 11:30 on that awful night. That we bore electric lanterns, spades, and a curious coil of wire with attached instruments, I will even affirm. For these things all played a part in the single, hideous scene which remains burned into my shaken recollection. But of what followed, and of the reason I was found alone and dazed on the edge of the swamp next morning, I must insist that I know nothing save what I have told you over and over again. You say to me that there is nothing in the swamp or near it which could form the setting of that frightful episode. I reply that I know nothing beyond what I saw. Vision or nightmare it may have been. Vision or nightmare, I fervently hope it was. Yet it is all my mind retains of what took place in those shocking hours after we left the sight of men. And why Harley Warren did not return, he or his shade, or some nameless thing I cannot describe, alone can tell.
Well done. You can now continue the game by clicking the End Listening button at the bottom screen. You can also try listening again if you missed something. The forward, rewind, and stop buttons are working now. What is this malarkey? What did these people take us for? Children? This has to be the most asinine case I've ever taken. What a waste of time. You still think Carter killed him after all of that? Of course. This is a ruse, a setup. I was around back when the radio made the entire country believe aliens were invading. It's all smoke and mirrors, kid. That Warren fella was always a nut. Man studied that occult mumbo-jumbo. He's probably been using one of those Ouija boards or whatever, had his underlings not killed him. But, sir, that man didn't break in the interrogation. Yeah, it just doesn't add up. Why would they go through so much trouble just to fool everyone? I mean, Warren is missing. You have the shrinks and those psycho low whatevers, and to try to understand the insane. Our job is to keep the streets safe. Stay in your lane, boy, or else you won't make it far in our field. Now make yourself useful and store these tapes in the evidence locker. Yeah, but what about Mr. Carter? He's already been transferred. That boy's looking at spending the rest of his life inside a cell. I wouldn't have vouched for the chair. This country is growing softer by the day. But we have no conclusive evidence. Isn't it our job to seek the truth and nothing but the truth? Good God, kid. You're starting to sound like my attorney. The case is closed. The tapes are proof enough, and both of these maniacs won't be fooling anyone anymore. Now go put those tapes this instant. That's an order. Yes, sir. I entered the evidence locker with anything but satisfaction. Blaming Warren's disappearance on a madman's whim was too easy. didn't feel right at all. How could nothing have been found? No footprints, no body, or anything was reported. At least as far as Detective Moore was concerned. I must search the area. There must be something useful here. I opened the locker and found a folder alongside some other items. People of my rank were forbidden from snooping around the evidence locker, but my slacker of a boss had probably gone home by now. And reviewing the case files wouldn't tamper with the evidence either. I should look around to find more items. I picked up the book. Its leathery cover nearly tore when I flipped it open. The book must have been old as dirt. Inside the tome were a bunch of scribbles. They appeared to have been some form of language. The characters were so chaotic. Some were tiny and others took up a quarter of a page. It was giving me a headache. I skimmed through the pages and found nothing, but more obtuse scriptures. The Bible's vagueness was nothing compared to this. Was this really written by a human? I closed the book and placed it back inside. It was worthless. You could call in a translator if a person could comprehend that nonsense even existed. I wasn't going to convince my boss to pay for one. I should rely on the tapes and anything I come across for my testimony. Deciphering that book can come later. You should look around to find more items. A lantern in the evidence locker? Strange. I understood that they want all the evidence they could get, but what could they have found with this? I guess Randolph couldn't have clubbed Harry over the head with it, but there wasn't any dents on it. All I saw him doing with it was helping him navigate the cypress at night. No worries, I needed to grab one of them anyways. The sun was beginning to set and I was bound to be out there for a while. I just hoped it had enough oil to last me. We should look around to find more items. The front of the folder read, the disappearance of Harley Warren. I opened it, found papers listing notes taken by my boss and his colleagues. Let's see what they came up with. Harley Warren, age 33. A man who made his living through his activities surrounding the occult. For a time, he worked as a university professor. I don't know who'd hire that quack, but I suppose you need the professor for anything nowadays. On October 30th, his understudy, Randolph Carter, age 26, arrived at the police station covered in muck and too stricken to speak. He claimed that Harley had been ensnared by a monstrosity too dreadful to describe. Randolph claimed that the incident took place somewhere in the cypress swamp. The only clue he provided was the mention of a particular tombstone. Deputies were sent but were unable to find the tombstone in question. Randolph was promptly taken into custody. Interrogation did not break the man's story. He never mentioned a lawyer nor faltered after hours of interviewing. Just about every technique was administered, short of coercion and physical contact, of course. My mind returned to the first tape my boss and I reviewed. Detective Moore believed he was a compulsive fibber, but even the best of liars falter somewhere. And Randolph's story, despite being founded in fantasy, was flawless. Well, would you look at that? 2 more tapes. My boss didn't mention these, though I suppose he had already reviewed them. He and the others were heading out. I didn't see why I couldn't play one while I was investigating. Okay, I believed I had a plan, but I must finish listening to the tapes I found before moving further.
As I have said before, the weird studies of Harley Warren were well known to me, and to some extent shared by me. Of his vast collection of strange, rare books on forbidden subjects, I have read all that are written in languages of which I am master, but these are few as compared with those in languages I cannot understand. I've never seen scriptures like it. And the fiend-inspired book which brought on the end, the book which he carried in his pocket out of the world, was written in characters whose likes I never saw elsewhere. Warren would never tell me just what was in that book.
A fiendish book. I'm guessing this is why Detective Moore passed this off as nonsense. I believe I understand why the professor lost his position. It's one thing to pursue these topics as a hobby, and another to become obsessed with it. Strange that he kept the book a secret from Randolph. Surely the boy was susceptible to his mentor's ravings.
As I have said before, the weird studies of Harley Warren were well known to me, and to some extent shared by me. Of his vast collection of strange, rare books on forbidden subjects, I have read all that are written in languages of which I am master. I repeat to you, gentlemen, that your inquisition is fruitless. Detain me here forever if you will, confine or execute me if you must have a victim to appropriate the illusion you call justice. But I can say no more than I have said already. Everything that I can remember I have told with perfect candor. Nothing has been distorted or concealed, and if anything remains vague, it is only because of the dark cloud which has come over my mind. That cloud and the nebulous natures of the horrors which brought it upon me. Again I say, I do not know what has become of Harley Warren. Though I think, almost hope, that he is in peaceful oblivion, if there be anywhere so blessed a thing.
The man is well spoken, but it took more than a silver tongue to prove one's innocence. The only conclusive evidence we found were the cassette tapes the student was carrying. These tapes were handed off to Detective Michael Moore for review. However, without a body or the tombstone being found, the evidence provided thus far points to Randolph Carter as responsible for Harley Warren's untimely disappearance. Wait a minute, the tombstone was never found? The cypress swamp is massive. They could have easily missed it, and Detective Moore was most certainly not willing to take the hike. The sloth is so eager to take credit, but if I could find something that the deputies overlooked, I'll not only see Mr. Carter released, but myself promoted. Even if his testimony is fictitious, it might be hinting at something much more sinister. Perhaps we should have perhaps we have another serial killer hiding out in the swamp.
As to the nature of our studies, must I say again that I no longer retain full comprehension? It seems to me rather merciful that I do not, for they were terrible studies, which I pursued more through reluctant fascination than through actual inclination. Warren always dominated me, and sometimes I feared him. I remember how I shuddered at his facial expressions on the night before the awful happening, where he talked so incessantly of his theory why certain corpses never decay, but the rest firm fat in their tombs for 1,000 years. But I do not fear him now, for I suspect that he has known horrors beyond my ken. Now I fear for him.
Okay, I believed I had a plan. It was to investigate the cypress swamp to further evidence. I would use the tapes to help me guide on where I need to go. So far, there was no mention of this tombstone Randolph Doctor spoke about, though if they were doing their studies out in the swamp, they had to have nested somewhere. But Harley was a wild one. He would be crazy enough to trek that far every day to pursue his studies. I just hope that all of this effort wasn't for nothing. On my way out, I grabbed the cassette player and the tapes and the lantern. I was going to be out there for a long time and it was getting dark. While tampering with the evidence was illegal, I shouldn't have any problems if I returned to the station after my venture. And with this case being closed, there was no reason for anyone to check the locker, though if someone did, well... No, I was right. One man missing and another got blamed unfairly for his disappearance. Besides, taking risks was part of being a cop. I shouldn't be in any danger, not with my firearm in my holster. Well, as long as I don't encounter any gators. It was running at 7 p.m. by the time I made it to the murky cypress. The smell of mud burned my nose. A choir of crickets, frogs sang, and I found myself needing to constantly swat at mosquitoes. It was miserable. Beyond those inconveniences, there wasn't much out here. The place was void of anything not expected in the swamp. The worst part was that the cypress was enormous. The swamp was over 700,000 acres wide. I could be out here for hours and not even have a third of the bog mapped out. Perhaps going at this alone wasn't the smartest idea. Oh well. I'm here now, may as well that other tape while I search. Ugh! I stubbed my toe and face planted into the muck. Damn rock was hiding in the moss. Ugh. Damn it. I knew I should have brought a change of clothes. I was filthy. Why the hell would the professor conduct research out here of all places? Wait, was I seeing things, or was that some sort of cavern off in the distance? I rubbed my eyes and the image didn't vanish. Looks like I still had my wits about me. I crawled to my feet and trudged over, being sure not to trip over another rock on my way there. The building came into view and it was just as revolting as the cypress. The wood was damp and decaying, the windows were stained if not broken, and the structure itself looked like it could collapse at any moment. Lord knows how long this thing had been out here. Who in their right mind would take this pigsty their home? A madman, that's who. I must search the area. The door nearly fell off when I opened it. Had it not been for my lantern, it would have been impossible to see anything in this shithole. I should look around to find more clues. I pulled open a drawer and my heart dropped. Another tape, just like the ones we were listening to while resting inside. I always thought more was phony, and now I had proof. This could turn the entire case on its head. I should look around to find more clues. I picked up the musky glass depicted Warren speaking with his pupils. They must have They appeared to be mesmerized by whatever he was saying. I guess you need to be charismatic if you're going to be teaching something I guess you need to be charismatic if you're going to be teaching something so fictitious. I think that youth in the for I think that youth in the front was Randolph. He had the same brown hair and wait, there's two photos inside the portrait. What's this? I pulled out both parchments, finding the photo and the white sheet. The numbers on the sheet were 4, 5, 6, and 7. How original. I inputted the code but the safe didn't click. So the numbers weren't in any particular order, or perhaps they were not correct. Regardless, there were 28 different patterns this combination could take. I should look around to find more clues. It needed a 4-digit code. Damn. Carter's had likely been shipped off by now, and I doubt they would have let some cop talk to him.
Once more I say that I have no clear idea of our object on that night. Certainly, it had much to do with something in the book which Warren carried with him. That ancient book and indecipherable characters which had come to him from India a month before, but I swear I do not know what it was that we expected to find. Your witness says he saw us at 11:30 on the pike headed for Big Cypress Swamp. This is probably true, but I have no distinct memory of it. The picture seared into my soul is of one scene only, and the hour must have been long after midnight, for a waning crescent moon was high in the vaporous heavens.
The numbers on the sheet were 4, 5, 6, 7. I inputted the numbers, but the safe didn't click, so the numbers weren't in any particular order. Or perhaps they were not correct. Regardless, there were 28 different patterns this combination could take. I should look around to find more clues. I eagerly plucked the parchment and began reading, only to be disappointed by the self-absorbed writing that met my eyes. This discovery is momentous. Finally my colleagues will take me seriously. They all called me mad. They all called me a fool. Some even called me a witch. But they'll eat their words when they see what I've discovered. But I mustn't drop all of my findings so soon. There should be a build-up first. Perhaps a monthly update will suffice. It'll be a fun experiment nonetheless. My first paper shall be sent on the 7th of November. My second will be sent on the 4th of December. And I will release my third on New Year's. But I think the 5th will do, and so on and so forth. I just hope my Randolph knows how to read between the lines. Read between the lines. Oh, this must be for some sort of code for something. My boss was an idiot. Warren left everything they needed to find on this desk, and yet... Carter was still arrested? How is this that rookie cop? How is that a rookie cop knew to look harder than the detective? I needed a 4-digit code. I, I opened the book and thank God, the script was readable. I had figured out that the professor's scribblings would be as frantic as his beliefs, and these entries look like they've been written fairly recently. The excerpts take place over a span of 4 weeks. I was hoping for a memoir's worth of writings, but I'll take what I can get. I had not considered documenting my experiments over the years. I've had nothing to note but fruitless research until recently. After days and days of exploration and investigation that led to nothing, I had finally found a clue that proved the legends were real. Upon approaching a particular graveyard in the center of the swamp, I heard whispers, not the whispers of one man to another, but they were alien. Words cannot describe how foreign these voices were, but I'll try nonetheless. They felt like they were being implanted into my mind, like thoughts that were not my own. They were mystical, deep, and inaudible. They sounded like the babblings of someone in an asylum. It was unnerving. At first I thought I was going insane, that my days with little to no sleep had finally caught up to me. But every visit I made yielded the same whispering. I shall inform my understudied Randolph of this peculiarity. Another perspective will invaluable to understanding the phenomenon. Week 2. The ramblings in my head were not hallucinations. Randolph heard them as well. The poor lad wasn't happy. He demanded that we'd flee, that we would never be able to convince the laypersons of such a tale, though truthfully, he wanted nothing more to do with this research. I, of course, allowed him to abandon the assignment. I may be a tad loony, but I am not heartless. However, the boy remained stalwart, likely to his detriment. As of writing this entry, we've no idea where they were coming from. As much as I loathed it, I believe some excavation will be in order. We'll bring some shovels and begin digging post haste. I hope my pupil can keep his bearings long enough. Week 3. My God, this last week was abysmal. I am a scholar. Such physical labor was not what I signed up for, but I know we're getting close. We found a lot of abnormalities in the muck, from body parts to tombstones as old as the dirt itself, and so on. If anything else had seen what we've tossed aside, they might have lost their minds. Poor Randolph had to leave early on many occasions, especially when we uncovered that disembodied arm. And because the further we dig, the louder the whispers became. They were beginning to become overbearing. I found myself babbling like an idiot from time to time. But I must persevere. Perhaps there's no monster in this wretched swamp, but these alien horrors mustn't go unnoticed either. Perhaps our invaders were coming from below rather than space. This research could be groundbreaking. Maybe this could hint back to some revelation to the past. The Dead Sea Scrolls were momentous for understanding the Bible. Week 4. We found it. The source of the whispers. Randolph and I uncovered it. It took weeks of digging, but upon discovering a peculiar tombstone, these voices became overwhelming. God knows what lies beneath the stone. And now that I thought about it, similar voices caused the prophets to frenzy from time to time. I could feel it. My mind and grip on reality were starting to wane. But so be it. This only proves my studies weren't fiction. It solidified them. Finally, finally, I could redeem my name and return to my position as professor. No more lectures in that outhouse for me. No, no, no. I'll only tutor from the finest facilities from here on. And Randolph, my dear Randolph, I will be at my side as master and pupil. We will change the world. Stay tuned, curious reader. The next entry will blow your mind. I searched the book of the I searched the rest of the book to be certain, but there were no further entries. Cold sweat trickled down my spine. I was ready to find bodies, bugs, and maybe even a gator, but not what Harley was raving about. It's starting to sound like he had a heart attack. Our brains are capable of making us believe that the craziest of stories. Poor Randolph likely got roped into this madness. This doesn't justify him not calling 911, but it'll at least absolve him of being charged as a murderer. Maybe a trip to the shrink, but not a prison. I had my destination, and with all of the digging they did, finding the graveyard shouldn't take too long to find. Unfortunately for poor Harley, I had no interest in pursuing his studies. Once I find his corpse, I'm heading home. Perfect. I needed these batteries. I knew it. Another tape added to the collection. I need to listen to the tapes I found before moving forward.
I'm sorry to have to ask you to stay on the surface, but it would be a crime to let anyone with your frail nerves go down there. You can't imagine, even from what you have read and from what I've told you, the things I shall have to see and do. It's fiendish work, Carter, and I doubt if any man without ironclad sensibilities could ever see it through and come up alive and sane. I don't wish to offend you. Heaven knows I'd be glad enough to have you with me, but the responsibility is in a certain sense mine, and I couldn't drag a bundle of nerves like you down to probable death or madness. I tell you, you can't imagine what the thing is really like, but I promise to keep you informed over the telephone of every move. You see, I've enough wire here to reach the center of the earth and back.
Hey, that wasn't too long. It was good to see that Harley showed some compassion towards his pupil, even if he was a bit extreme. Mention of the fiendish work, however, did not ease my worries. It was fabricated. It had to be. But hearing two men speak on the same insanity made me regret even considering going to that infernal graveyard. Maybe I should abort. I had evidence on me to persuade my boss to call for another investigation. No. No, I had no authority. At best, he'd brush me aside, and at worst, he'd fire me and take credit for what I discovered. I wouldn't put it past that snake. I had a job to do. I just hoped this called for a cop's expertise and not an exorcist. It was getting late. All I needed was to find Harley's body and nothing more. I didn't want to risk getting spooked either. Harley was a maniac. God knows that tale he and his apprentice have conjured regarding that tombstone. can't get psyched out. I need to stay focused and finish the task at hand.
The place was an ancient cemetery. So ancient that I trembled at the manifold signs of immemorial years. It was in a deep, damp hollow, overgrown with rank grass, moss, and curious creeping weeds, and filled with a vague stench which my idle fancy associated absurdly with rotting stone. On every hand were the signs of neglect and decrepitude, and I seem haunted by the notion that Warren and I were the first living creatures to invade a lethal silence of centuries. Over the valley's rim, a wan, waning crescent moon peered through the noisome vapors that seemed to emanate from unheard of catacombs, and by its feeble, wavering beams I could distinguish a repellent array of antique slabs, urns, cenotaphs, and mausoleum facades, all crumbling, moss-grown and moisture-stained, and partly concealed by the gross luxuriance of unhealthy vegetation. My first vivid impression of my own presence in this terrible necropolis concerns the act of pausing with Warren before a certain half-obliterated sepulchre, and of throwing down some burdens which we seemed to have been carrying. I now observed that I had with me an electric lantern and 2 spades, whilst my companion was supplied with a similar lantern and a portable telephone outlet. No word was uttered, for the spot and the task seemed known to us, and without delay we seized our spades and commenced to clear away the grass, weeds, and drifted earth from the flat, archaic mortuary. After uncovering the entire surface, which consisted of 3 immense granite slabs, we stepped back some distance to survey the charnel scene, and Warren appeared to make some mental calculations. Then he returned to the sepulchre and, using his spade as a lever, sought to pry up the slab nearest to a stony ruin, which may have been a monument in its day. He did not succeed, and motioned me to come to his assistance. Finally, our combined strength loosened the stone, which we raised and tipped to one side.
Jeez. I wanted information on the cemetery, but I wasn't ready for a documentary. I must carry on. By replaying the tape as I walked, I was able to find the burial site in no time, though something was off. When I first arrived, the place was bustling with wildlife. Now, all that accompanied me was a dreary silence. There were no crickets or toads out, and not one mosquito had bitten me since I had left the cabin. Had it always been so quiet here? I figured these voices drowned out everything else for Randolph and Carter. Could it be that this silence drove them mad? Our mind tended to play tricks on us when it tried to understand something it could not. Meanwhile, the graveyard looked as if pirates had plundered it. Unearthed mud littered the terrain, chunks of rock were scattered about, and despite the mention of missing limbs, I did not smell nor see any. At least, the good professor had the sense to dispose of them. I had to rely on my lantern to see much of anything. At a glance, the land just looked like a bunch of muck. But upon closer inspection, I spotted a tombstone that was recently ripped from from its resting place. The hole beneath it had to be Harley's doing. I tried to read the epitaph, but it was written in those scribbles, just like from the book. I shuddered. That book was from India. Why are those writings in the cypress? Was this some sort of joke? I dropped my lantern and leapt backwards. The voice. What the hell was that? Police! Show yourself! I scanned the area with my lantern, yet was met with the same silence as before. It was crazy. I had my firearm on me, but I couldn't stop shivering. That voice. It sounded like the whispers straight from Harley's journal. No. I was just hearing things. This must have been getting to me, though. I thought I was bolder than this. With deep breaths, I retrieved my belongings and peered down inside. This was no ordinary grave. There were stairs and what appeared to be a wire trailing down them. It looked like a telephone cable, much like the one discussed in one of the tapes. His body had to be down here somewhere. I was able to walk inside the tomb without issue. Was it custom to make such elaborate tombs in India? I knew Egypt had one of those customs for a while. The walls were riddled with that alien scripture, giving me the chills. I tried not to focus on them too much. These voices I kept hearing were bad enough. That said, I couldn't help but be fascinated by all of this. This culture had to be thousands of years old, and for it to make it all the way out here? How? I guess I could now sympathize with Harley's obsession. This site warranted further study with or without the purpose of finding his body. And as I reached the end, there was no trace of Harley in sight. Was Randolph really crazy enough to do the occultist? Was Randolph really crazy enough to do the occultist in? The boy was rattled by his time in the Cypress. Would that have driven him to commit murder? I didn't know, and even with the evidence I gathered, it would not be enough to persuade a jury either. Though there were some other items to consider. There was a telephone and those spaded shovels, and speak of the devil, another tape. I should look around to find these items. The tip of the spade was fresh with dirt. This proved the digging that was mentioned from the tapes. Sadly, there was no dint on the shovel. I could see Randolph snapping and smacking him upside the head. Could he have buried himself below it? As an act of a maniacal worship to whatever culture this was? Well, I was too tired to test that theory. I could use this to justify another investigation, but that's about it. The telephone appeared to be intact. I could get it tested for fingerprints, but that's all it was good for. It was strange to see all of these items undamaged like this. If Randolph did Harley in, wouldn't he be wise enough to dump all of this in the bag? It just doesn't add up. His testimony, the tapes, the clues I found, they're suggesting something, but it isn't murder. Or at least in the traditional sense. So my wild goose chase has come to an end. The last tape, or at least I hoped so. With the batteries I have, I could listen to it on my walk back. It'll help fend off these whispers. If I stayed down here much longer, I'd wind up like Harley. I'll pop in the final tape later. Let's put this story to bed once and for all.
But if you could see what I am seeing. out of this if you can. Quick! Leave everything else and make for the outside. It's your only chance. Do as I say, and don't ask me to explain. Beat it! For God's sake, put back the slab and beat it, Carter.
Warren, brace up! I'm coming down!
Don't! You can't understand. It's too late, and my own fault. Put back the slab and run. There's nothing else you or anyone can do now. Quick, before it's too late. Carter, hurry. It's no use. You must go. Better one than two. The slab. Nearly over now. Don't make it harder. Cover up those damn steps and run for your life. You're losing time. So long, Carter. Won't see you again. Curse these hellish things. Legions! My God! Beat it! Beat it! Beat it!
Warren! Warren! Answer me, are you there?
Must leave this place. I ascended from the hole and pushed the tombstone back into its original spot. I didn't want anyone else to get entangled in this lunacy, not unless they were a detective. The only reason I didn't try to cover up the epigraph was because I wanted to be able to lead the investigators there. This site was dangerous. I didn't know what it was, but the public needed to be kept safe from it. Thank God I was on my way out of this hellhole. Being out here, in the dead of silence, in the pitch black swamp, and the murmurs in my ear, it was maddening. I placed a hand on my firearm and tried to control my breathing. This was all just one big convenience. Yes, just a big misunderstanding. There was no such thing as... Fuck this shit, I'm out of here. I bolted. I didn't give a rat's ass about Randolph or this stupid case. I wanted out of here. Sweat ran down my brow as I pressed on through the bog, running from no one I could see. With each step I took, the whispers grew louder and louder. It was as if I was being hunted, despite no one being in sight. I looked down in the cassette, and the tapes were still playing. Did that come from the... Leave me alone, you son of a... My toes rammed into a stone and I collapsed. I scrambled to my feet, only to be stuck motionless by a pair of eyes looking my way. All I could see was a shadow behind them, a shadow growing closer the second. My hand rushed for my holster and drew my firearm. Without hesitation, I fired. Ah! I unloaded the entire magazine, but to no avail. This silhouette had all but consumed my sight. Horrified, I tried to crawl away. I didn't make it far, not before... Thank you for playing. The Statement of Randolph Carter. See, that's why I liked it. Honestly, I haven't really, played all of the Spooktober games. I can't say any. Well, all I can say is that probably like it had really good sound design. From, I mean, the voice acting was great. The voice acting was great, but like like they, I don't know how to explain it. Like they mixed like they like edited the voice to make it sound like they were actually like cassette tapes. Like this, they distorted the voice to actually make it sound like cassette tapes. And also I mean, the monster's voice was also very, very, very well made. Like one of the things that I liked about it, or another thing that I liked about it was that there was kind of that it was kind of jump scary, but not really. Like one of the things that I really like about horror is that horror doesn't have to be jump scares, you know? Like just the fact that oh, there's this feeling before a jump scare, right? The suspense before, oh, I think something is coming. Oh, I want to brace myself because I think that feeling of bracing yourself for something scary is actually just an insane feeling. It's just a good feeling by itself. Like that feeling by itself is actually insane. Like it's actually like that suspense, that suspended feeling is actually like like uh like I think is one of the things that people kind of miss about, or the people kind of overlook during like horror things. Because I feel like when people look at horror like games and stuff, or like they always think about like the jump scares of like, oh, boom, like surprise, something happened. But I mean, it's the subtle, but yeah, because that's the most entertaining type in terms of from a you want to get a reaction standpoint, right? But you gotta love the slow burns. You got to love the slow burns of like things of like of of like even just the slow burn and suspense of horror is also a very very good tool to use. So that's what I liked about it. But yeah. Anyway, I need to use the restroom, so I'll be back in a few minutes. BRB. just gather myself for a little bit before I let me just gather myself for a little bit before I start. Before I read our next story. Our next story, which is mm, oh, the Cult of Baphomet, right? Let me just sorry, yeah, no, let me just get my bearings for a little bit before I start reading again. But yeah, I mean, whew. This is not good content. I'm just sitting in style. I'm just sitting in silence. No, it's just that I fucking need to take. Oh God, I hate it whenever I just curse. Like cursing is so weird because it's such an inefficient way of saying things. Like, I feel like cursing is just a waste of breath most of the time. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think okay. I've done it. I've That's enough. That's enough. Right. So we'll be playing our next game called The Cult of Baphomet. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting the title. Okay. All right then, guys. Uh, I guess before I continue, all of the games are free. All of the games that I've been playing are free. You can download them on itch.io. If you want to experience the game yourself, or is kind of interested in playing the game yourself. Also, I mean, I guess it kind of showed how the reason why I pre-read most games is because if you guys saw my mouse movement that game, it was crazy. It was embarrassing. Like, I couldn't find so much shit. Like the stack of papers in the cabin, I had trouble finding. But that's the reason why I hide my. That's why I pre-read and I hide my cursor. Also, there was, I don't know, it was weird what happened earlier where I lowered the volume, but then in game it didn't happen, and I was like, okay, I don't want to reset the game just to lower the. I don't want to reread the things that I've done, or the lines that I've read, just to lower the volume. So I just went through with it. Also, they said this was no edit November, which is, I guess, as a streamer, it's literally no edits. No, but I edit videos, kind of chop them up and then release them as individual videos, which is, yeah, no, yeah, that's the way to go. The thing about what I like about the streams and the videos is that the videos provide like how should I say it? Like the videos provide like just mm, just objective content. Like that's it. It's just objective content. I'm just reading something. But when you tune into the stream, I do kind of break down what I like about the game that I just read. So I feel like both of them have like it's both of them have like really good. Oh, actually, now I think about it, like I haven't really released the last Spooktober night where I commentated the games. Huh. I guess I just forgot. Like, right? Sorry. Yeah. No. The commentated version I just forgot to do, or I forgot to release on the video. I guess it just kind of got away from me. I just stopped thinking about it when I became busy. But yeah. Okay then. But this time, yeah. So if you want to hear kind of like my thoughts about the game and stuff, you can watch the stream. You can watch like the VOD of the stream. That's it. That's like the happy medium that I do give, or not happy medium. No, that's kind of like the that's the that's the difference between the videos and the stream. Basically, is that I get more in depth, or I give my opinions on the stream, and it's just more the videos are more objective. So yeah, let's get along. Let's trudge along and play our next game. So I will be back in a few minutes, or yeah, just a couple of minutes while I go and get ready. The Order of Baphomet. Content warning: death and blood. Welcome, my friends. Tonight marks the dawn of a new age. The time has come to crown our new prophet. Worry not, my child. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. You will receive honor, glory, and the divine blessing of our God, Baphomet. Cast aside your former name. Cast aside your former skin, your former body, mind, and soul, and embrace your new identity. All hail our new prophet. All hail Baphomet. Rise and shine, Azazel. Wake up. Oh, for Baphomet's sake. Azazel. You awaken with a start in your own room. I'm up. Finally. You'd be late for your own funeral if you could, Azazel. I'm sorry, Madam Lilith. I just thought it would be a quick nap. No matter. Our God forgives you. But there's only a few hours until your sermon. You remember your lines, don't you? Could you refresh my memory? Just this once. You must get all the details correct, Azazel. Our god Baphomet will be watching. Listen closely. We, the citizens of the Order, are blessed to be under Baphomet's divine watch. We praise our God's mercy and hear his words through his excellency, the Prophet Baphomet. The Order is safe. The Order provides. The Order is your home, your family, your everything. To show our faith to Baphomet, our god, we cleanse our order of the unclean through the sacrifice of dissenters. Did you catch all of that, Azazel? I know it was a mouthful. I don't think I can do it. Do not be afraid. The entire commune trusts and respects your words. I know you will succeed. She pats the top of your head. Madame Lilith, forgive me. I couldn't help myself. Our God forgives you. By the way, I wanted to tell you something. I had a dream earlier. It seemed like a vision of my inauguration tomorrow. Father was in it. He said something about my sacrifice. Don't get me wrong, I know it's a great honor to be the next prophet. I just can't help but feel like I don't deserve the honor. Oh, no need to be so humble, Azazel. The people need a leader. Your sacrifice is merely a metaphor growing into a new identity. And who to embody that than you? Besides, our leader would never hurt you. You are his only son after all. Thank you. I'll keep that. I'll keep your words in mind. No need to thank me. And one moment before you go, she pulls out a gift wrapped in white cloth and presents it to you. This is a sacrificial knife. It has been passed down by generations of prophets. You will need it for the inauguration rituals. Take care not to tarnish it. Thank you. I won't, Madam Lilith. This knife is so precious to the Order. This is real life? I really am about to become the next prophet. You step outside of your quarters and meet the familiar sight of your mountainside home. The Order's flags and banners wave proudly in the wind under the full moon's light. The sky's faraway twinkle. The sky's faraway stars twinkle. It's good to get some fresh air. And everyone's working hard to prepare for my crowning ceremony tomorrow. I should do something too. Azazel. Oh, don't sneak up on me like that, Micah. Yeah, sorry. I heard you muttering to yourself. Help me deliver today's dinner rations. That's way too much bread and water to carry yourself. Of course I'll help. You know, I always get stuck with the hardest tasks. The two of you spend the next few hours trudging across the sprawling cliffside, delivering rations to the citizens of the Order. Here's your food, sir. Oh, wow. The next prophet himself shows up at my door. The dinner's still just a jug of water and a half of a loaf of hard bread. What a gracious Lord. Thank you, Baphomet. Jeez, I'm starving here. Oh. I'm sorry, I don't have anything else. I can try to request something better for you tomorrow, maybe. Oh, forget it. Just from the way you talk, I know you're just a naive little kid. Listen, when you become prophet, you better start making some big changes around here, alright? I will. The citizen disappears back into his residence. Hey, Micah. What do you think? There's nothing to think. What do you mean? What he said really bothered me. The Order does all it can to protect and provide for its people, and yet that guy's so rude. He wants big changes. If Baphomet heard him, he would be in serious trouble. Azazel, let's pass out the last few rations and talk somewhere else. After an arduous hike, the two of you reach a cliff, a simple altar made of 3 slabs of stone, and stand on it on the edge. The waving red ribbons, the moon shines brightly in the sky. Why did you bring me here? This is the only place where he isn't watching. My Fleur, I mean, Baphomet? Who else? Happy 18th birthday, Azazel. I know you'd be busy tomorrow with the inauguration and all. That's why I wanted to say it now. Micah, you're so kind. May our God bless you. Our God? Hey, we're friends, right? Can you keep a secret? Of course, you can trust me. Micah begins to unravel the tight bandages on their neck. What is that? It's the Order's symbol. There was never a good time to tell you this, but tomorrow, you're going to be the next prophet, and you deserve to know. 2 years ago, I was reckless, just like that citizen complaining about rations earlier, and they did this to me. It's a miracle I can still speak, really. The only reason I didn't die was because I got on my knees and begged. And who did this to you? Who else? Your father. No. Micah puts their bandages back on. I'm telling you the truth. Please, don't strain yourself. The prophet tries so hard to keep everyone happy and satisfied through his sermons, but you know what? It doesn't work. He's a fraud. Everyone here is miserable. We're forced to work. We don't get paid. We can't leave. And the food just sucks. People only joined the order because of promises of safety and care. We were poor and vulnerable and didn't know any better. We're all just too weak to escape. I think I hear someone approaching. And on another note, don't you think it's suspicious that we call the prophet by Baphomet's name? As if he's actually a god? Hey, Micah. He's making us worship him. A man behind a mask. And if we only have any little bad thing to say about it, we... Shh! There you two are. Micah scrambles to put their mask back on. Do you have any idea how much trouble you two stirred up by disappearing? You, go back, now. Yes, ma'am. They leave in a hurry. And what about you, young man? What do you have to say for yourself? I'm very sorry, Madam Lilith. I was just passing out rations with Micah, and then we came here to talk. You know I told you to stop associating yourself with them. You don't want to catch their voice sickness. And what did you two talk about? We just made small talk to catch up. Your dishonesty does not go unnoticed, Azazel. I'm disappointed. Shoot. Your sermon is starting soon. Your father and everyone else is waiting. Do not falter. Make us proud. You step into a massive cavern, illuminated only by candlelight. A crowd of masked followers has congregated inside already. I've never been allowed in here before, but this looks just like the room in our dream. I just got goosebumps. Welcome, humble citizens of the Order. We come together tonight to celebrate the crowning of our next prophet. Welcome, Azazel. Hello, everyone. I don't see Micah in the crowd. I don't see Father either. Isn't he supposed to be here? Midnight marks his 18th birthday and the start of his new journey as a leader to us all. We will begin tonight's inauguration with a sermon led by our God's next prophet. We listen to your every word. You may begin. Yes, Madam Lilith. We, the citizens of the Order, are blessed to be under Baphomet's divine watch. All hail Baphomet! We praise our God's mercy and hear his words through his excellency, the Prophet. All hail the Prophet! The Order is safe. The Order provides. The Order is your home, your family, your everything. All hail the Order. You have done well, my lamb. Father! The citizens of the Order bow in reverence. We are blessed to be in your presence, Baphomet. Your prophet, the ordained messenger of God, has arrived. His Excellency, Baphomet, speaks through me. He sees you, he hears you, and he loves you. My words are his, as his are mine. But alas, the time for renewal is now. Tonight marks the dawn of a new age. 18 long years I have raised and cherished my son. The ears and horns on his head are a mark of him being blessed by our God. I have no doubts he will be the most powerful prophet in the history of our Order. Azazel, finish the sermon. To show our faith to Baphomet, our God, we cleanse our Order of the unclean through the sacrifice of dissenters. Father is gonna kill me? Let us continue with the ceremony. As tradition of the prophet's inauguration, we hold a special sacrifice. This honor would usually be bestowed upon an elder in our community who has served the Order long and well. However, tonight, no such honor exists because our new prophet cannot be crowned while the unclean run free amongst our ranks. The crowd collectively gasps. They're changing the ceremony? Speaking ill of our God Baphomet is an unforgivable act. I hope that you have not all forgotten that our God has done for us. Without him, your lives would fall to ruin. Tonight, Azazel will be upholding your promise of faith to Baphomet through the cleansing of a dissenter. With the sacrifice of their poor broken soul, we shall crown our new prophet, and the Order shall prevail. The crowd cheers. Bring the dissenter in. Micah? Azazel. 2 years ago, this traitor was found stealing rations from our stock. We, as the Order, provide food and home for you all. This greed was unfounded. The food that this dissenter stole could have been rations that your own family were to receive. A cacophony of anger gasps erupt from the crowd. I'm starving. 1 piece of bread per day isn't... Quiet. 2 years ago, we spared the life of this dissenter. We believed in giving them a chance to prove their loyalty once more. But we were wrong. The traitor before you today was spreading hate about our God, attempting to misguide the next prophet. Descendants are wicked, unrepenting beings who use sweet lies to rule the mind of the weak. They must be purged from our order. Azazel, come forth. Raise the sacrificial knife and rid us of the poison that plagues the order. The citizen pushes Micah in front of Azazel. The crowd goes silent in anticipation, eagerly awaiting the coming sacrifice. Azazel, don't. Silence. Wait, Lord Baphomet, please. Micah's my friend. A traitorous rebel who can't learn a simple lesson is no friend of ours. This dissenter has strung you along for long enough. It's time they've learned their lesson. And what more of an honor as it is to be sacrificed in the name of our God during the most important ceremony of this generation. You are about to become the next prophet, the highest honor anyone could bestow upon you. Are you really worthy of that title if you are unable to sacrifice one lowly dissenter? Proceed. You take a deep breath and pull out the sacrificial knife. I refuse. You cast aside the sacrificial knife. It clatters against the floor. What honor it is? What honor is it to murder a friend in cold blood? It's not just. Azazel. Hundreds of voices speak up in protest. He's ruining the ceremony. Kill the dissenter. Just hurry up and sacrifice them already. Thank God. The members of the order have the right to voice complaints and concerns. How is it so wicked to want a better life? How blasphemous is to want to sleep with a full stomach? If the order promises to take care and provide, it should. Silence. Your father storms towards you. You instinctively take a step back. You were hysterical. Your mind has been tainted with lies and deception. Destroy the source. It is the only way to save your soul. I refuse. You do not have a choice. Sacrifice them. I refuse. You will become my successor. You are the face of the order. Then, I don't want to be anymore. Unacceptable. Before you can react, your father's hands thrusts out and clenches around Micah's neck. He lifts them up into the air. If you refuse to get rid of this pest, then I will do it myself. They can't breathe. Let them go. The mercy given to you 2 years ago was undeserved. May our God have mercy on your wicked soul. Stop it. Tackle Baphomet. You lunge at your father, but he is much taller and stronger than you. You tug on his robes desperately. Azazel, you were embarrassing yourself. Put them down. You're going to die. You have failed the ceremony at every step. This is my last effort to redeem you. Stand down. Help. Micah. You struggle against your father, punching, kicking, doing everything you could in a last-ditch effort to save your friend. Enough! Your father violently kicks you in the gut. You fall to the floor. A loud snapping noise reverberates throughout the entire cavern. Wait, what happened? My horn. I broke my horn. The horrified crowd watches. The prophet beat his own son. I can't watch any longer. Oh God, look at his horn, and why is his hair white? Hang in there, Azazel. You cradle your broken horn into your hands. Everything hurts. You risked yourself to save my life. You're a hero. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's not over yet. The two of you turn towards the prophet, expecting him to be looming over the two of you. Surprisingly, he is facing away, head bowed, clutching his face. My mask! The crowd became unruly. What? The prophet's mask broke. I thought he was supposed to be the manifestation of Baphomet. He was so crazy and unhinged today. I always knew he felt like a fraud. Down with the order. False prophet. False prophet. False prophet. How dare you? Dissenters, all of you. Your god Baphomet commands you to stop. A crowd member throws a stone at him, and the crowd roars. Lilith steps in for damage control. Get out of here! Baphomet, for the sake of our order, I suggest you leave. Your frustrations will not be quelled by words alone today. No, I refuse to let it end like this. I refuse. This ceremony was supposed to be perfect, but you, Azazel, you ruined everything. Don't hit your son again. How unbecoming of you. She cradles her aching face. Pieces of her mask crumble away. Why do you protect him so vehemently? Why do you coddle him so? He is my son. Perhaps I considered him mine as well. You witch. You could never understand. She holds him off. A handful of brave citizens rush to help her restrain the disgraced prophet. Micah, Azazel? I don't agree with what you have said, but I understand where the two of you are coming from, and I trust you. You are the new leader of the order. Make a speech together and decide its fate. Okay, I understand. Micah, are you okay now? You can do most of the talking. I believe in you. Speak from the heart. I will. Everyone, tonight, you have all witnessed something very uncomfortable. I know it must have been difficult for all of us. Today's events have shined a light on a terrible truth. The truth that the order is corrupt and imperfect. I grew up in this place, and I grew up happy, in blissful ignorance. Now, I can see how cruel this place really was. As a result, I have decided that there will be no new prophet. However, if you all are willing, it would be my honor to be your leader. Positive murmur. We trust in you. I can help. Right. We will work together towards freedom as a community. Let's mark today as the dawn of a new age. You can cast aside your former shackles and embrace your new identity for the new and better order. You raise up your broken horn and the crowd cheers. Good job. I will support you. Our next plan of action is to restructure what we have here. We will spend the next few months rebuilding what we have here. We will agree on a fairer, less harsh set of community rules to abide by, and we will venture out from the commune to other places to forage and trade. That's all the ideas I have for now. I'm sure we can do it though. Azazel, Azazel, Azazel. Hey, they're chanting for me. It worked out. There's just one last order of business. As the new community leader, his fate lies in your hands. What will you do to your father? Let's rehabilitate him. I believe in second chances. Despite all of the pain you've caused and the damage you've done to all of us, you are still my father. You might call me naive or weak-hearted, but I believe that you truly wanted the best for me and the rest of the community. If you are willing, I would love for you to stay. Who taught you to act this way? It's mercy. It's weak. It's pitiful. I still want you to be by my side, Father. Very well. I will think about it. You've done a phenomenal job, Azazel. I'm proud of you. We're finally going to be free? You're the best. I couldn't have done it without you two. Thank you for trusting me. Alright everyone, let's get out of this creepy room and celebrate. Your unwavering determination and strength has set your people free from the chains of Baphomet. The people of your community look up to you for guidance. They adore you. Your friends and family are alive and well. Your sacrifice was not in vain. Your courage to fight back brought honor, glory, and blessing of the people unto you. Soon, your people will venture out from the mountains to explore the outside world. They will be happy and free. The future of the new order is bright. Congratulations. Pure Good End Finale. Thank you for playing The Order of Baphomet, made for the Jam-O-Lantern 2022. Credits. Programming. At Miles Blumendew. At Little Rookie. Writing. At Iceberg Cabbage. Background art. At Meh. Character art. At Otto. Sound effects. At Ben Slatterly. Music. At Glenn Slatterly. And at Winterester. You have unlocked 2 out of 3 endings. Play again to see the rest. The Order of Baphomet. What a nice story. Although, so might have I should have went for a bad ending, right? Now that I think about it, I should have went for like the mid ending, the middle ending, or like the bad ending. Just so I could kind of push people into playing the game, or just playing the game. I feel like, so the thing about it is that it's kind of subtle, right? Wherein you want to show off the game, but you still want people to play it. And I think giving like the true end, or like the best ending outright, just it's ineffective. I don't know, like sometimes, whatever. I mean, it's already happened. I've already done it. I've done it already, so there's no use kind of thinking about it now. But yeah. Anyway, I kind of like, my performance in that was kind of bad. or the way I read it was kind of bad. It was very inconsistent. Like all of the characters, other than maybe Azazel. Yeah, well, I got really like I feel like I forgot how to voice all of the characters. I feel I made like two or at least two voices for each character. It was not consistent. I should you know think about that more. I mean like I should like be better about those types of stuff. So honestly, it's also why I think like a second person reading would be better. It would just take like so much of a load off for me, especially if it's like an opposite like feminine voice to have, because it's just so hard sometimes. It's just hard sometimes to have to do like feminine voices. Like I already have like not a great voice. Like I feel like my voice isn't as welcoming as other voices, honestly. But yeah, I think so. I think, I mean those are things that I can't really help though, can I? Like I can't. Well, I could. Like I said, like I feel like collaborations would help me a lot, but yeah, let's think about that another day. But yeah, shorter than I thought it would be. Honestly, I knew it was short. Like I picked it because I knew it was short, but I didn't expect it to be that short. Honest, yeah. I wonder if this is a one shot or if they're. Hmm. Hmm. Let me think. I don't mind if this is a one shot. I don't mind. I don't mind. Yeah. Yeah. It's up to the writer and the developer if they want to like continue the story and actually build up how. Well, actually that's kind of, yeah, never mind. That's kind of complicated. Like I mean, no, thinking about it like, oh, well, no, like where would the story go? Just, I guess there's a way you could do it. For example, I would think about, because it is such a uh, well, the order was kind of secluded, right? So in which case they were very they were secluded and very, it, they had their own like sect basically. And when things like that happen, usually they get a bad reputation. So maybe they could explore that. They're trying to branch out, and they're trying to kind of fight away the negative imagery that they've gathered throughout the years as the old prophet Baphomet built around them. Hmm. Yeah, maybe that could have been, but then again, like, I will see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, yeah, I feel like, yeah, yeah, I'll get into it soon. I'll get back into it. Like have I do have some. I do have like the next few stories that I want to read lined up, but there is some that's like 50-50 for me. Like for example, like Under the Brine by, I think, Donna Draws. I'm hesitant to read because apparently it is based on, like, it apparently, well, I guess it is a fan fiction. Yeah, I guess so. That's what you call it. Apparently it's based on real people. In which case I'm like, okay, I don't want to at least feel like I feel a little iffy for like doing voices for like real people, like doing impressions of like real people. So, but then again, it's like, eh, it is fiction. It really didn't happen, but like, um, I don't know. And I'm also not very familiar with the people involved. I mean, I've seen them. Like I see them around like Twitter and YouTube and stuff, but I, I don't actually know who they are. I haven't watched any of their videos, so I feel like it's not for me to, you know, do their voices and stuff. Although it is like one of the things that did attract me to it, it is like an all, at least I think it's an all male cast. And I mean, I could just do voices of males. It's easier for me to do those voices rather than like once there's like at least like three females in a there's at least three females in a in a visual novel. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like unless you specifically specifically make like an accent or like, you know, like a unique characteristic of how they speak about them, I'm done. Like I can't I can't do it. I can't do it. Like I can only do like one. I struggle with two. I can't even do one honestly, but I try. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Like yeah, these two stories were really good, and I kind of got into it. Still a bit rusty, I guess, because I haven't read a while. Anyway, what else? What have I been? What else have I been thinking about, or the ones that lined up? Mm, there's one called The Librarian, which is also like all male. I think it's, well, I guess I can't really say male though. At least they have, let's just say that they have masculine features. Can I say that? Is that a neutral, is that a gender neutral thing to say? To say someone has masculine features? Yeah, I'm not using a pronoun, but, or I'm not, you know, I'm not giving them a gender. I'm just saying that they have masculine features. So it might be easy for me to kind of voice them out. But what else? There's also one called what was it called? Let me remember. It's like EP4 or something. Yeah, or EPIV basically, like EP4. A 30-day bet. Yeah, I'm looking at that as well. I mean, both of those stories, The Librarian and this one, is kind of long. So actually, that's what I've been kind of like shaping up for. Because, for example, like this says that this game is like an hour or two, like is an hour or two. uh, It takes like an hour or two to play this game, an hour or 2.5 hours, which basically means it's going to be about 3 hours for me to finish that game with like the readings and stuff, with like reading it like or fully narrating it. So it's gonna be hard. It's going to be hard, but yeah, we'll we'll be able to, you know, kind of, we'll be able to do it, I think. But yeah, I don't know which one I would do first, but yeah, well, we'll look out for those, because those are going to be another very one of those very very or you know, very ambitious, as I would say it, very ambitious readings. So we'll look out for that. And I think that'll be it for me for tonight. The stream was longer than it should have been, but eh, I have fun. I have fun. It's a good distraction. But Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time, I guess. Bye. Oh, before I say goodbye, oyasumi nase.